Heard once John C. Maxwell, Dr. John C. Maxwell, who is my favorite leadership coach, trainer, author. In life, you have to expect problems. Problems are part of life. And that kind of changed my viewpoint of looking at problems and issues in the sense that problems will happen and then it's natural. But recently, I forgot exactly who said this, but recently they said, when you don't have problems, that means you're dead. That's the only time you don't have problems. That opened up my mind. There's another saying, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. And problems create growth opportunities. If not for problems, most of us, I'm not going to say every, there's some people who push themselves beyond whether they have problem or not, they will still keep pushing to be better or improve, get out of the comfort zone, whatever the case is, right? But most of us, that means heavily, I would say me, I wouldn't have gone on the journey I was without the problems I had and what I had to do, what I had to figure out to get out of those problems or think I'm the best I need to do. So in that sense, for me, I'm starting to look at things differently now. When problems come, that means, okay, I'm not going to say when problems come, I'm like, hey, problem. No, I still will like, crap, another problem. Why do I have to do this or do that? Whatever the case is. For example, right now, I'm going through job situation, so on, so forth, losses in investment businesses, whatever I had to deal with last year, still dealing with those. Yeah, I had to file taxes and I had to pay first time in my lifetime in taxes, something significant amount. That's another problem. But the thing is, I can't dwell in those things. You can't, once you get stuck in this thinking about the problem instead of a solution for the problem, then we're not going anywhere. Nobody's going to come rescue us. Yeah, that's the mentality of a lot of people trying to find help with somebody going to rescue them. Maybe you can seek help, obviously seek help if it's needed, but still you have to do something about it, not just sit on yourself. But the biggest thing is more and more what I'm learning is I have learned through doing things. When you look at solutions, how to solve the problem and try it out, the growth you experience is tremendous. I'll just go through some examples in my own last 7 year journey, I guess. 7 years, probably close to 7 years, is one of the things I decided I'll do because once I got into a business I was doing, I'm still doing it, is that to get more customers, people, essentially expand my network. I decided to do cold calling. Now here's my background. I'm an IT guy. Most of us IT folks hate talking to people. We're busy typing away and oh, we don't like people. That's the story. That's the story everybody makes up. Most IT folks make up. And I used to have one of my best friends. We no longer communicate that much anymore. That's different reasons. But we used to constantly talk about that. He was a brilliant guy. And we were kindred spirits in the sense that we were on the same wavelength mentally in many things. I used to constantly say, hate people, don't want to talk to people. But here I am making over 1,000 cold calls and getting really good at it. At a certain point, was really good at it. Now, usually all those cold calls or cold contacting, those really don't work. It's just when you hit a lot of numbers, eventually something will work out, but it's not the most efficient way of doing things. That's something I've learned now, right? Now I do it differently if I have to, whether professionally or on whatever investments I work on. I generally tend to want to first build a relationship before I do anything because I find it waste of time. Cold calling is waste of time because it's temporary, doesn't work out on the long term. But the point was, it was a solution for not having enough people network in my network at that point. But now I've got a pretty good network, pretty big network, know a lot of people because I build relationships, slowly build relationship. But the point was, without the problem I faced about needing to talk to more people, I would have never gotten there. Same thing here. I'm doing these videos. The first time I did it, heck, I hated looking at myself. Like, who's this doofus? Now I've talked to people, have few people even start doing their own thing, write videos and stuff when they were hesitant. The whole point is, again, problems, right? They were facing some problems, customers, whatever. They were trying to attract more people into their network, whatever the case was a solution to the problem. No matter where we are, here's the deal. I don't care who you ask. Everybody will say they have some problem going on. And if they're not looking to solve that problem, then there's no growth, there's no life. Life is problem solving. That's what dawned on me. Once the person said, again, like I said, I forgot, we said that when you don't have problems, you're dead. The only time you don't have problems is you're dead. That just hit me like, yeah, don't get stuck in the, that's where now, last 2, 3 years, I've had tremendous number of things crop up personally, professionally, financially. Most people, they would have been stressed out a lot by some of the things I've gone through. It's a material now. I don't care about sharing those things. Those are personal. But the point is, if not for me understanding problems are an opportunity or a way to grow, that's one way. And now understanding problems are an indication that you're still alive. The only time you don't have a problem is when you're dead. Then you're done. There's not going to be no more problems. That has shifted me. It's still a practice, as I've shared many times, many other things I've learned. It's always a practice. There's no perfection there. You continue to grow, you continue to practice those things like understanding things I discover. It's a practice, getting better at each time, slowly getting better, one step at a time. There's no an instant jump. Maybe some people do, not me. What I've discovered is some things I have done instantly, like quitting alcohol in 5 minutes, less than that. Same thing. One time I quit coffee in 5 minutes using NLP, neuro linguistic programming. And there are other things that I've done where they were instantaneous, but most of the time it's a gradual thing. Habit, like atomic habits. You gradually, slowly start. Meditation, tried to do 20 minutes first time. It was crazy. I was like, what the heck? I can't even do anything. Remember, my reminder was when I was a teenager, I used to be able to meditate pretty well. But 30 plus years, I didn't meditate. And then trying to go back to it, it wasn't easy. It took me a long time to get back to almost a year to sit 20 minutes a day. Now I'm up to, I can do hours. In a day, I do this once a month, a whole day meditation now, which wouldn't have been possible 6, 7 years ago. So, anyway, the point is shifting my thinking about how I see problems tremendously changed how I look at life and the problems when I come across them. For me, it means, hey, it's a chance to grow or it's a chance to learn something, either about myself or how I'm doing things or what mistakes I made. As the saying goes, Tony Robbins said it, life happens for you, not to you. And that's how you look at it. Another, I've shared this multiple times too, Peter Crone, my other favorite mind architect, who says, life presents you with situations to show you where you're not free. All those things help me anytime there's a problem, issue that potentially might stress out. I will get stressed out and I've learned to accept it. Don't resist the feelings. Once I resist the feeling, those linger and come out in a different way, in a different situation, which is still a practice. I still haven't mastered. It takes time. It's a constant practice. When you get into those funks or anger or sadness, whatever the case is, it takes time to practice those and get over them faster. So I get faster and faster getting over those things and getting neutral. Going back to the whole point, problems. The lesson I've learned is problems are the reason you're alive. Problems exist means you're alive. If I look at it, start looking at it that way, then I no longer think problems as an issue. It's a chance for me to continue growing or living, essentially. Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not going to complain, whine, or feel bad about when things happen. But eventually, I know pretty quickly that that's not going to help. I just need to look at the solution, find the solution to the problem. And maybe my solution to the problem, I can help others potentially in the future, right? Anyway, I hope that helps anybody going through problems think about problems differently. I know some are major issues. Either way, it doesn't matter. We have major, small, whatever it is, we still have to solve it or get somebody to help us solve it, right? Take some help to solve it. Either way, eventually it comes down to us solving that problem most of the time. I'm not saying 100%, most of the time. Anyway, so start looking at problems different.